Trump says, wait a minute, your executive order is saying that we are, your argument is that we're trying to commandeer this, but that's not at all what we're doing. We're saying we want them to take appropriate action to. It's not a requirement. So it's just like a nudge. The executive branch also says that we have executive power, and when the AAC is operating, they are exercising executive power. And we have supervisory authority over this, so we're coloring within the lines. Now the question is whether we can interpret this law to be more narrow through another clause, right? In other words, Trump, you don't have as much power as you claim to have. Going through all the different provisions and enumerating a bunch of laws, going through various sections of the executive order and what they're challenging, and just taking them one at a time, it looks like, was my opinion. Now, the executive branch insists that states arbitrarily treat some people's votes differently when they permit absentee votes to come in, or illegal votes, right? If illegals vote, then that means your vote, your share of the vote, is diminished. Now, even if the election day statutes could be read to bar states from counting ballots after election day, civil enforcement actions have to go through a different mechanism. And so the whole, a lot of kind of analysis here. Here we go. So some irreparable harm. Saying if you require proof of citizenship, there will be harm. The states have said that if you require citizenship, it's going to require a bunch of record-keeping problems. And it's going to take databases up to a year of new programming and other things. States have also...
Hey, Eggsy, sorry. I'm in my wife's vehicle, so I've had to change things up a little bit.
In fact, in Maryland, the concurrent development of
no biggie, though.
would require 35 to 40% of its resources.
I got to make a stop. I got to get an oil change her car. She's gone way too long. I fucking just had to do brakes in her car. I drove it recently after not driving it in months, and her brakes were toast. Yeah, she's working.
Have to train a bunch of people. In fact, Cook County.
I don't know how this is coming across. I put it's standing vertical, so I don't know if it's.
It says we normally hire 8,000 people. They're all going to have to be trained in Nevada public.
So I got to get her some
newspaper notices.
Oil change. I got her brakes. Fucking $1,800 for brakes. She let it go that long, and it was that bad.
This is all going to be hard. It's going to be voter registration.
Fucking new calipers in the front.
Already the crucial work that they're doing.
No. Streams. I mean, falls out.
This is questionable harm. According to the state,
I don't know what worker fucking. Okay. Back. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I was muted. Whenever it disconnects like that, that's the spot it always disconnects right there, so we should be good. I don't have car Wi-Fi in this Jeep.
Driver's license. We don't give driver's licenses to illegals, and we've done the validation at the state level. So just bring your driver's license from Arizona. Right? This likelihood of disenfranchisement is a serious harm.
Well, the brakes, yeah. Brakes. Calipers up front, rotors, rotors. It's usually
but the equities here.
At least it shined whenever it disconnected, so that's the only reason I knew it did. Plus, it said reconnect.
But there's little evidence that you checking status is going to make sure we don't have a
We should be good now. I got to just find out where this Valvoline is out by Defiance.
And there is an injunction that is issued. She says we're not going to require
Valvoline Instant Oil, Defiance, Ohio. Hey, Brandon.
So the Obama judge comes out and says, for the foregoing reasons, Trump is now enjoined. Don't even have to post a bond. Doesn't cost anything to have illegals voting in our election. And nothing in this says that Trump can't take lawful action, but his executive order is now injunctive and has stopped. So another judge acting as we expect. Judge didn't.
Oh, there isn't one in Defiance?
We're sure Trump's going to appeal it. Hopefully get aggressive.
Hang on, I got to pull over because I got to go to Valvoline for her.
Because it's all implemented here to seize control of the land, seize control of the judiciary, seize control of Congress.
Really?
And
well, I'm on there too.
And by having
but I don't know how to
not checked and voting in elections,
unhide people if I'm not.
Gives them another mechanism to do it. So Denise
I didn't know that.
J. Casper, another district court judge who's siding with illegals against safe and secure elections from a duly elected president. We'll keep our eye on this one. Thanks for subscribing and joining as we do. All right, one more update on the day, my friends. And then we'll hear from you. And it's just a beautiful one. This one is just amazing. So let's start right here.
Some more starters.
With this right there. Perfect way to start it. Jamie Raskin has an absolute meltdown. He is what's the right word for this? Jamie Raskin has an absolute meltdown. He is having a nice conversation with our friend Nick Sorter over on X, who had some simple questions for him, asking him about his support for one of his most favorite people in the world, Kilmar Abrego wife beater human trafficker Garcia. And Raskin started to flip out during this very pleasant exchange from our perspective. And so shout out to Nick Sorter on X, who is the person who captured this for us. He wrote, exclusive, I confronted Democrat Rep. Jamie Raskin over his support for illegals, and he absolutely melted down. He called me a fascist and a QAnon and then tried to run away. All I asked is if he still backed Kilmar Abrego Garcia after it was revealed that he was trafficking.
Yeah, afterwards only flexed, but I could send him
the state that Raskin represents. Hello. Now, he even tried to signal for the Capitol Police to come and get me. Minutes after he backed Alex Padilla's for crashing Kristi Noem's presser, calling him a liar and a hypocrite, too. Now, of course, instead of answering the questions, he yelled incoherent blather and found a way to bring up Elon Musk. And so I encourage you to get some help.
All right, away we go.
And so let's enjoy this together. Jamie Raskin, frothing at the mouth. You're a fascist. Get out of my face, you little fascist.
Yeah, get a hold of D, because, yeah, you're right. He gets too many emails.
So you initially, who are you? Hi, my name is Nick. Nick, nice to meet you. I'm from X. So I have to ask you, you said, Kilmar Abrego Garcia. We voiced a lot of support for him originally. Now he's been charged with some kind of transport of illegals. Are you still going to double down on that so he gets his sponsors now? He gets his sponsors now? I don't think people can wait.
due process during his first asylum proceedings when he was ordered to be removed, and he got another lawyer, came back, filed for withholding of removal. He wanted to get out on bond. He appealed all of that.
Why? What's wrong with doing that?
Avenues of due process, and got even due process plus, got extra due process. In fact, wasn't even charged with crimes because his presumption of innocence was much stronger than everybody else. Anybody else gets caught trafficking humans, FBI doesn't let you go. If you are driving without a license or insurance, you're going to get charged for that. Gilmore was stopped for speeding, no registration, no license. Cops say, have a nice day. That never happened to you, ever? You get stopped for a registration ticket. Oh, I forgot to. Cops say, I don't give a crap. Here's your fine. Eat it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to live it, but I mean, everyone has the right to their beliefs. That's why I do pretty much free speech. That's why almost everyone is a mod in my chat, because don't ask me to fix anyone who's not right now, because I can't.
Van Holland down there with
I'm having to pay more attention to the road than normal.
Realizing he's a wife beater who was trafficking people back to his state.
Angry about it. Is that why? Is it because you were made it to be a fool out over it? You were supporting a man whose wife accused him of feeding her. It's not being allowed in the country. He's not a judge. He was allowed in the country, and then what? And then what happened? Then he was deported back to his home country. They keep calling him the Maryland father, who apparently beats his wife. She said on the record that he beats her.
No, there's nothing wrong with
It's not QAnon, dude.
brutalizing your free speech. Like I said, you can completely disagree with anything I say, and it's not, you're not going to get banned for it. That's why everybody's a mod. That way, mods generally can't time out or ban other mods.
Is that what the people of Maryland want? The people of Maryland.
This is fun. He's pissed, and his staff. It looks like
You got shot for what? During a riot in Milwaukee?
Jamie, just keep walking, dude. Just relax, just keep walking. And it's like you see these heads like.
I got to go down to Bowling Green to get the oil change first. So apparently, this is going to be a heck of a day.
And now Jamie, there's like across the street. He's gonna walk back, right? He's like trying to like get around the staff. It's just amazing.
Come on, man. I understand why you're so angry.
It's going to be kind of out in the boonies again, so we may disconnect again. So we'll see.
There she is walking.
I'm not in your face, bro. You got your little minion. She can act. So come on.
Yeah, but that's different.
Very difficult questions.
I mean, I grew up right outside Detroit, so I worked in Detroit for a long time in EMS. So shootings happen all the time, but still, anytime a cop gets shot, you know the biggies are going to be out in force. So watch yourselves. Yeah, DV calls are typically some of the most dangerous calls for cops.
Of course he's not, because he's illegal. See, these talking points, there's a reason the Democrat parties, there's a reason your approval rating is in the single digits at this point.
Oh, no, it's not. It's 100% approval, 110%. Nick Sorter has A+ ratings from the Watching the Watchers Bureau.
Got me, bro. You got me. You got me. Okay. So are you okay with the deportation? Do you think Marylanders want illegals coming into their state? Violent criminal gangbangers? Seriously, a moral. Okay.
No, he's not.
You can't answer. That's a pretty easy question. That's a layup. No, Donald Trump's judge has to New York State. Go look it up. Is he the only illegal in Maryland? Is he the only criminal illegal in Maryland? Okay, so you're saying. Well, I don't know. Is Elon Musk? So you're saying that everybody else.
Yeah. Things can be popping off, especially with those strikes
All these other illegals.
last night on Iran. If there's sleeper cells, be careful. Stay strapped.
children of using female
Stay strapped if you can. If not,
smugglers stopping
hang with people that are.
The police after you ask you a question, you gotta be kidding me. Don't try that. Okay, just asking you. Just I feel like American people want to know. Do you support removing? What office will you elect? Do you support? What office will you elect? I'm not the one here to answer you question. I do. I speak to over a million people. All right, so bro. Okay, so do you support removing criminal illegals from the country? Let's say that. Elon Musk. Yes, I do.
You support removing Elon Musk from America.
All right, so the answer is no.
All right, so absolutely amazing. Shout out to Nick Sorter, my friends. Make sure you're giving him a follow. At the top of our timeline. So good. Shout out to Nick. Hopefully we see more of that. Jamie, you can just see, man, he's totally gone. He's like, oh crap, I do support white illegals in Maryland, including when they traffic more illegals into our country. And he's just can't even hide it. It's coming out of his face every 2 seconds. You normally don't see congresspeople just lose it.
Yeah,
right?
I will too.
You know, you've got some good ones. Like here, for example, let me show you a much better person. Here, let's find Tim Burchett Stalker right here. So here's like a better way to deal with this than Jamie Raskin. Yeah, here's one stalker. Not saying that Nick Sorter's a stalker or something like here's like how a professional would deal with it. And Jamie Raskin has a meltdown. Here was Tim Burchett.
Do you trust Trump's national security team to keep our plan top secret?
You trust your mother every night. You use your hot pockets and make sure your game always turns on.
So, see, that's the difference between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats are just hysterical lunatics. They just can't take it. They ask them a simple question, they start screaming all over the place. You're like, gosh, Jamie, you're a sitting congresswoman. Man, you weird person. What's your problem? So, shout out to Nick Sorter. Love that, man. Make sure you're following him, supporting that work, so we can continue to see Democrats have meltdowns when they're asked simple questions about why they love illegals so much and hate America. All right, my friends.
Dude, they could get arrested for that big time.
Thank you for joining us on this lovely Friday, and happy Friday. Welcome. We're hopeful that you
if all he said was to F off,
and we're very glad that you're here. Thank you for joining us.
he did not commit a crime. They cannot detain you. That's kidnapping.
Comments that have come in the house,
or at least illegal detention.
We've got some memes on the day. Let's see what we got cooking here today, my friend. Thank you for being here.
I guess it's not kidnapping because they didn't moving. He couldn't move. But still, that's nuts.
This one came in from Voice of the People. Says, Redskin is so pathetic, but the only thing anyone can find on him is sleazy comments and blatant lies from Voice of the People. Off Label says, finishing the sanctuary state governor's hearing tonight over at Off Label Podcast. Come vote on who to listen to and who to skip. Riot watching over on Saturday. So check out Off Label Podcast. We got this one from Lil Kim Jong Un.
All right.
Lil Kim Jong is from North Korea, and we'll just read this as written in Defended in North Korea. Hey, Lil Kim Jong Un. Hello, America. Hey, Rob. How come Republicans no serious about immigration and congressional seats? What?
They also have a world-class VPN. You go to mylink.or.com/supportering to try 14 days for free. That'll be enough time for Or to find out which data brokers are selling your information and start submitting opt-out requests on your behalf. Kanye West crashes Diddy trial and shock courthouse cameo. Live updates. Sean Diddy Combs' trial is underway in Manhattan, and Kanye West is in the courthouse to support him. Kanye showed up to court in a bombshell move Friday to support the disgraced music mogul.
Yeah, that security could lose their licensing, or at least those security guards.
Diddy's ex-girlfriend
over that shit.
User Jane concluded her emotional testimony this week after telling the court that she still loves the rapper, but resents that she feels forced to have these freak-offs with strangers to satisfy his fantasies. Prosecutors also say They charged the rapper with trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy because he used threats, drugs, and attacks to force women into unwelcome bedroom experiences and used his employees and associates to help him get what he wanted. Kanye,
right, I'm going to do some moving here on this. I got to plug this phone in.
He faces a minimum of 15 years to life in prison.
The pins don't
Kanye
work.
West, all-white outfit and sunglasses was seen walking to Manhattan's federal court Friday. The controversial rapper was received welcomely by Diddy's son. He was also greeted by defense attorney Xavier Donaldson. When asked if he was in court to support Diddy, he nodded yes. People in the courthouse erupted in cheers as Kanye entered and went through security checks. Kanye apparently went into an overflow room for a few moments with 3 security guards before leaving less than an hour after arriving at the courthouse. So this is just a photo op, right? This is just a photo op. This comes after CNN reported that the rapper wanted to support Diddy in person on Thursday. Here you see him walking in. I'm assuming all the press is there. Again, here's the thing. Maybe Kanye is really just his friend. And maybe he's just trying to support him. And maybe that's just what friends do. I mean, if I had a friend and they had committed a horrible crime, depending on what it is, if let's say they did something stupid and they robbed a bank or something like that, I would probably still go, support them. And say like,
Good.
Hey man, keep your
later, Brennan.
In there. Maybe don't be an idiot next time.
Thanks for dropping in.
That
drop a like over on the Rumble if you could, please. If you haven't left yet.
I don't know. Again, I'm still largely convinced that the vast majority of the people that are mad or that are pretending to be victims in the Diddy case simply aren't that. They were people that thought it would eventually, help their career. There were people that thought it would get them closer to Diddy. You see,
they got it closer, that's for
more
sure.
testimony. Diddy's cunning courtroom tricks to win over the jury, from his wardrobe to his courtroom props, and even interactions with witnesses and jurors. The 55-year-old is leaving nothing off the table. He's well coached. Now, Diddy's ex-assistant today recalls freak-off or king night requirements. The jury was shown text messages where Diddy's right-hand woman, Christina, asked Jonathan Perez if the room had been done yet. Quorum then asked him to let him know when he was on his way to the hookup store. Perez said he included honey in the hotel room's requirements because it increases a man's libido. He would bring red lights, but they would change colors. Now, all the biggest headlines still remain about all the kind of debauchery that he took part in. But really, there isn't, that's not illegal.
Well, it does help. Plus, we have plenty of pew-pews, too.
The prosecution accuses Diddy of nodding during testimony after judge's warning. Mr. Combs had been nodding during cross-examination for most recent witnesses. He's done so during Jane's examination. I ask that Your Honor remind Mr. Combs that nodding, especially emphatically, is not appropriate. Diddy's lawyer, Brian Steele, fired back saying Diddy has been nothing but professional during the trial. Since the judge's previous comments, he's not even looking at the jurors. Of course, they show all the weapons that were found in his house. There's nothing illegal about that.
There's just warnings about things popping off this weekend. I'm going to be in Ann Arbor Sunday. Docs.
A lot of this stuff just simply isn't illegal.
I may be doing some recording on Saturday. See if things pop off around here.
He's allowed to
Happy birthday, Army 250.
He's allowed to have 900 bottles of Astroglide. He can have 100,000 bottles of Astroglide if he wants. That's not illegal. Owning weapons is not illegal. They're doing this stuff to destroy his career. Even if, they're making sure that he never works again. If
they have millions of dollars worth of windmills and not a single one of them's turning.
Rubber duckies and nitrous, food-grade nitrous, which I assume for...
They're all just sitting there, not turning. And the wind is blowing hard outside. Yeah, just another peaceful protest.
Sure
Yeah, that's all we've had so far. So
they also found ketamine, MDMA. Again, the drug charges, he's not beating those. He had the drugs. There's really no denying that. The weapons, again, I don't know.
So I'm taking the wife's car to get the oil changed after getting the brakes fixed yesterday for $1,800 fucking dollars.
For the most part, the charges, the drug charges and hiring prostitutes, that's not going away. I wanted to find this. I meant to have this other article about the Diddy juror they tried to go to, because I thought that was pretty interesting. Let's see, Diddy juror could not. Diddy juror could get disqualified.
Yeah.
From the trial. So that's still.
How many of our tax dollars were put in for those windmills that are just sitting there not turning?
Legal experts warn that jury complications could lead to a mistrial in Diddy Combs.
Do it myself.
Now, this is basically the best case scenario for Diddy because
time, tools, equipment.
Then it's going to be hard to.
I mean, I could have figured it out, but
convict him. You know what I mean?
Like, 18 months warranty with these.
Very hard to
they needed calipers. Dude, it was grinding metal on metal. Fucking front calipers were toast.
Which means they think that this juror is going to find him not guilty. That's ultimately what this is.
Yeah.
New York attorney Nicole Bernecki told Fox News Digital that complications.
It's a local business that did it.
Severe problems down the road.
I priced it out at different places. They were reasonable.
Every time we engage in a jury trial, there's a process called voir
dire,
which is a process that both attorneys engage in under the supervision of the judge, where the attorneys have an opportunity to question potential jurors and ask them questions to make sure they're not biased. Except in this case, Diddy's lawyer objected to U.S. Attorney's Office request to remove juror number 6. We object to ask juror number 6 being stricken. I understand the colloquy is under seal, so we don't want to explain it further for the record now, but the government is going to put in a letter. We'd like the opportunity to be heard either in writing or something in the morning. They're trying to get rid of this juror because they think that he's not going to convict them. Before cross-examination began, the judge denied Diddy's second request for a mistrial. Diddy's legal team had argued that the prosecution knowingly presented false testimony to the court in a letter filed last week. In a federal indictment unsealed back on September 17th, he's been charged with everything under the sun. And
I would if my garage was empty. It's full of shit right now. But I don't even have the jack stands and whatever.
It's going to be very interesting to see exactly how this shit for Diddy. I'm still about 95% convinced that he's going to.
Why is this guy going so fucking slow? It's a 55-mile-an-hour zone.
The trial is still going on. That's how
there's a bunch of people going slow.
How long they've been parading people to and from the court to say just how bad of a guy Diddy is. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm guessing that keeping this juror on and getting a mistrial is probably his only.
No, it's the warranty's free. Yeah, they don't charge for the warranty.
But this is something.
It's all that's they're warranting their labor, not the parts. The parts are already warranted. Oh no, they killed me on labor.
Rescue Title 18 process that known abusers have scheduled drugs.
The parts were $850, or no, the parts were $750.
Yes, I know it's on the background check.
I don't know, something like that. $750, and the rest was labor. So over almost $1,000 labor. But literally, they got it done in a day, and they were booked up.
We'll see. KJ says, "Don't get me started on Pam Bondi." Oh, you had a comment before that, I imagine. All I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I got an itemized list, but they knew They knew that it was. So they got me for a bit.
Don't get me started on Pam Bondi. It'd be nice to see her as vicious about the Epstein case or the Fauci. She is about Barr giving their drink an anti-Semitic name. We need an angry man, AG. Yeah, Pam Bondi probably needs to go. I don't know. What do you think? One's in the chat.
Fucking idiots in this road today.
More time, or two.
I'm driving down to Bowling Green to get the oil change. I know I can do it myself.
I do understand the doom and gloom. over taking out scientists and terror leaders seeking nuclear weapons. Trump has repeatedly said no nuclear weapons for Iran. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, you're probably right about that.
I was in the Army during the same time, Missy.
So much good. You guys even start?
90 to 95.
There goes YouTube. Yeah, it's a lot of tubes. It seems like most people out there are pretty tired of scam bonding. That's what I just think we need a new face. I think she's burned up all of her credibility. You know what I mean? At least that's what I think. I think
I know. Hey, believe me, if I live closer to you, I'd pay you to do it.
God bless and protect Israel. You guys really siding with
freeway actually separates. I don't know if I've ever come this way down the Bowling Green.
Until the cash interview, I gave them time. Time's up on part of the list. That's kind of how I feel too. Tampon Tips. Tampon Tim, PlayStation 6. There's not even a lot of places to find. But Tampon Tim couldn't define a woman today in court. Oh yeah.
What do you want me to say?
I want you to say that a woman like me is an adult human female.
I mean, they're asbestos. That's a natural thing. Pretty sure they're asbestos. Most brakes are asbestos. Some are ceramic.
Oh, she's sharing your own Thug Life memes?
Or combinations.
I'm getting a little tired of Nancy Mace, too, to be honest with you. Do I need to just take a break from politics? I'm getting a little tired of Nancy Mace. I don't know why. I can't really put my finger on it, but I don't know. Is it just me? Yes, you need to take a break. Maybe that's true. Jason for 20. We've not done shit to Iran. Holy fuck. We didn't strike.
Well, it is. I mean, I'm not on top chat, and I'm a little confused too.
Well, I mean, I think that
I don't know what side of the fucking road it's on.
Face value, that's fair to say.
See, Home Depot. Is there any day workers there? They already been picked up and taken to work before ICE could get here. Yeah, I don't see any. They must be either working or hiding.
There's not even enough games on the PS5. I'm getting pretty blackpilled again. Yeah.
I thought he meant brakes too. So no, these are full synthetic. I mean, the thing about full synthetic oil though is, man, you go fucking 10,000 miles.
Let's just
let's
not be blackpilled.
To me, that's worth it.
You know.
Especially since they charge you fucking $100 for the fucking oil change now. I mean, that's why I always use the Valvoline, because you can get the $25 off, but still, it ends up paying around $100.
Period. Yeah.
Semi-metallic.
Did you see the rumor that Bonnie Blue is a man? By the way, happy Friday the 13th, everybody.
I don't know if she has an accessory mode with this push start here, so we'll figure it out. Let's see, watch for Valvoline. Let's see which side of the road it's on. It's on the left. Okay, cool. And I'm getting hungry. May stop somewhere to eat after this. No, that's not Valvoline. Shit. Was that one next to it? Okay, yeah, there is one over here. Okay, cool. Cool. I don't even know where you go in here.
Well, half kidding.
All right.
Yeah. You're mad about the tampons?
This is so weird. You gotta cross people here.
I think most of us. Hopefully, this just.
There's a chick working here.
The Iran thing doesn't escalate. You know, that's kind of where I'm at. And I'm looking for other stories. It's pretty dry. I was looking for other stories to stream today. But we could just see how my card shop's doing. I saw people dying in front of my eyes. The Air India crash. I covered it yesterday and I cared about it. Blue Sky is dead. I don't care about that.
Yep. Just total.
Go ahead and pop your door open for me and leave the vehicle running.
I don't even know where this is my wife's car, so I don't even.
Yeah, tomorrow's the big no Kingston. I was thinking about streaming tomorrow during that.
Perfect. All right, we're going to run through a quick safety inspection.
Gotcha.
Give me a driver's side turn signal.
There you go. Hit.
Make sure the headlights are all the way on.
No, I haven't made that. Let's for politics not getting okay. Let's see about this.
All lights and wipers look good to me. What is the current mileage?
Just disappeared. I'm gonna have to take it out of park. It's 95 something. I don't know how to scroll through it.
I know, I saw that. It's pretty funny.
Oh, let's turn this off. There it is. 95384.
That's not. Breaking random card multiple misses.
Just to balance the air. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the full synthetic. I got a coupon too. Okay. All right. You would need the coupon at the end? All right. Hang on. Let me pull it up. Oh, wait. That's... Yes. Oh, synthetic blends. Shit. Yep. Where do they have those at, Missy?
Sorry, that was, I have a leak in my shower tile. And that was a contractor. It's like leaking into the basement. So, I had to answer it. What do you guys got going on this weekend? What do you guys got going on? Pissing in the basement? I wouldn't recommend that. Your house is like falling apart. Well, the tile is in the shower. Yeah, it's on the shower bench. I believe that no matter what happens, there's a lot to be grateful for. We can't be loyal to representatives, but society is pushing back against left-wing rhetoric. We have each other keep smiling. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Weird Robot says, where are we on the cold condiments? For example, what does mustard have? Does the mustard have to come from the fridge to be ideal, or is it okay not to store it in the fridge until open and then use it for the first time at room temp? Well, we don't put it in the fridge until after we use it.
Also, I did replace.
But I don't like mustard, so I don't know.
Thank you.
I think Chad have to answer that. I don't have a strong mustard opinion. Jeremy, I want to check out my new GMV when you're off stream. I'm learning editing and streams, and it's on Mr. Kelly channels. Looking for constructive criticism. Other than that, everybody's good. I don't know what GMV is. Check out my new GMV. I don't know what that means. Pete Inman says, no balls, walls. Spoke to a room of veterans about 2 months ago. The moment he started speaking, everyone in the room heckled him and was like, stolen valor. Yeah, I remember covering that. Keep mustard in the fridge? Yeah, I think so. I'm working on my video game all weekend, except for Sunday where I'm taking my father bass fishing. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's Father's Day this weekend. Patriot politics.
Well, I'm not going to dock somebody's farther east
than Iran that hits us will be
than that.
Of USS Liberty and then blamed at Iran. Yeah, probably. Warhammer 40K. GMB.
They don't even pull the plug anymore. They pump it out of the top. Okay. That way nobody can say that they see. Look at that device in front of me. Yeah, they pump the oil right out of the top now.
Jason says, I think it's funny that liberals are claiming this is Trump's
Look
America.
how dark that fucking oil is.
All the violence that
Jesus.
is happening in left-wing cities and states. Look at the escaped ICE detainees in New Jersey. Yeah, I think 3 of them got out yesterday, right? There was like a riot at the ICE place and ICE detention center, and several of them got out. I'm pretty sure.
I got to stop at Lowe's there in Defiance. Just want to go there and make a couple keys before I go do some work there. Oh, speaking of that.
What do you have for stage here? Are we still talking
Card.
about Padilla? This whole thing, was embarrassing. He literally lunged at the podium.
Yep.
He deserved to get taken out of there. Like this whole thing with Padilla. Yeah.
Senator Alex Padilla. I have questions for the secretary. Because the fact of the matter is,
he wasn't wearing a security pin either.
What's the total?
When you behave like
it says 80. I see it. I'm sorry.
What does that mean? What does behaving like Timcast mean exactly? Should have tased him. Yeah, I mean, look, he it was very state.
New text message from PayPal.
Okay.
I think it was pretty hilarious that, like, everyone in lockstep was like, "Oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened." When, like, first of all, it's clearly not the worst thing that's ever happened. Like, are you saying I am behaving like him, or that
Chiefs? One of them did. I don't think the one in Fremont opens till next Tuesday.
I don't think I cover news the same as him. I think that's pretty different. By the way, yeah, it's like someone in chat said, if you say you're a senator, well, then you must be a senator. Why? I'm living in South Dakota as a couple months ago. You ever host any in-person events? Shout out to Sioux Falls. We have an in-person event coming up in Milwaukee for members. So if you go to the quartering.com/join, you get $20 off Rumble Premium, and like it's combined with Rumble. I'm working on getting the monthly offer in place, but I have to update the website. But for like $6 a month, you get members only videos, of which there are 2 to 3 a week that get posted. No ads on Rumble. You support the show. You get special discounts above and beyond. You get access to a members only Discord. There's all sorts of crazy discounts. And this is, even if you're just going to get Rumble Premium, this is the cheapest they've ever sold it. So if you go to thequarter.com and use this link to sign up, you get $20 off a year. Mr. Kelly is my Rumble channel. Didn't want to drop the link and take viewers away. I'm not as entertaining as you. Gaming music video. Oh, okay. Gaming music video. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. The whole thing is pretty sad. Um, I'm hoping things calm down. I'm hoping things calm down. I think we're gonna stream on Saturday, boys. We're gonna stream on Saturday. Subscribe
That
is
was quick.
misspelled.
Probably one of the quickest I've had in a while. Thanks, guys. You too.
Is it?
That was
Where?
fucking quick. That was like a fucking
I believe
NASCAR
it.
pit stop.
100%. Oh, it is. Subscribe. Oh my god.
Electric Kia there.
Oh my god. I think it was embarrassing for me, but we have thank you. This is so we can play. This is so we can play Expedition 33 on stream. Okay.
Yeah, that was fucking quick, man.
Subscribe.
Yeah, I gotta stop at
Subscribe-
Lowe's and get some
subscribe
keys
to the
made for
quarter.
this facility
That's what you get. You get high quality content from the quarter.
until we get the electronic locks put in.
I barely see any of the exclusive Rumble quartering videos. They might only be 15 or 20 minutes. It makes me smile and laugh. Oh, yeah, there's lots of them. Like if you go, like, if you go to the Rumble channel and you go to the exclusive tab, there's like 100 or more already here. There's pages and pages and pages of members only videos. And they're more vlog style, and some of them are, uncensored and spicier and stuff like that. But, it is what it is. Someone hasn't won a spelling bee lately. Guaranteed. Rumble Premium from the quartering is about $100 per year.
I don't remember how to fucking reset the oil thing on this. I'm gonna have to look it up.
But I don't know how long you're going to have that discount. Rumble actually just messaged me and said, didn't even, okay, next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay for a membership with him. I have Rumble Premium already, so I get most of his content for free. So, plus he doesn't do anything exclusive on locals anymore. So, what's the point? Since he's getting part of the lineup now.
I think the No King stuff is going to be pretty muted.
We'll see.
You need to stream with that all up global support. Yes, I will. I will stream. I already told my wife I'm streaming tomorrow. Maybe what we'll do is we'll play like some video games while we're also watch some lives.
It's like the window's cracked to the back.
Let's see who's live too.
I think Rumble Studio only does top chat for YouTube because I don't think I have a backup phone here other than the one I'm listening to this other stream on. So just so you know, I may not be seeing all the chat.
This looks pre-recorded. I don't rate people who just do pre-recorded shows. Nope, you got to be watching it. As a programmer myself, I can vouch for my bad spelling brothers. The worse their spelling and grammar, the better their autism-fueled programming skills. I've never met one that could spell. Oh my gosh, I got the annual and it's worth it. Get it now before it's.
I don't know. He announced that he was looking into it and did a couple fundraisers. But honestly, there's been so much other news. I haven't even heard much about him since then.
And this way you support the show and Rumble, which is.
To be honest, I don't think enough is known about him. He's never held any political office before, so.
Charlie Kirk, no, he doesn't need it.
He kind of pissed me off when he.
Who's this guy?
Kind of pissed me off when he was trying to talk that one person into voting for him instead of Trump.
I'll bring him on. I just don't rate people.
When he didn't think anyone was listening.
Like, I have nothing against him. Tyler Today News. Yeah, this Rumble app update is pretty nice. It fixes the battery issue a lot.
I don't know if I agree with that. It still smokes my battery. Maybe in iPhones.
Also, I have
not
to
in
ask,
Android, not
like,
Samsung.
what happens when I go to premium? Like, I don't know. I don't know how this works. I don't think I can. How do I switch it to premium? Let me check this.
You can only do it from Rumble Studio, I think. I don't know if there's that shortcut for it. Because he uses OBS or something, so. Hey, XZ on Rumble. At least I'm seeing the chat. That's the first time I've seen the first chat. You don't necessarily have to subscribe, but follow us on Rumble, please.
I thought there was a button to switch over to premium.
There is on Rumble Studio.
Yeah, if you haven't updated the Rumble app, the new one fixes the we will be live streaming Saturday for the riots if things are popping off. Tyler Today News. All right. Yeah, I'll have to figure it out in the background.
It's in the description. There's a link in the description, 75. And you can pop into Rumble from there.
Only doing dedicated on.
Okay, thanks, XZ. I appreciate it. I would add you. Let me see if I can do it through the studio now. You used to not be able to do it through the. Yo, wait, pin. Oh, it just lets me pin your comment. Oh shit! What did I do? Oh, took me to your page. Right. Holy shit!
We'll be live tomorrow. I always go short on Fridays. KJ says to switch to premium, you just have to press the subscribe button. No, like how do I make the feed premium? I'll have to figure that out over the weekend. Where is the Milwaukee Gathering data on the member page? I will let you guys know next week where that is. So let's make this guys.
Thanks, XZ. I appreciate it, bud. Must be watching on split screen.
Still live. What's up, guys? Oh, snap. Here it goes. Here it comes. What's up, guys? Hey, Quartering rated me. What's up? Thank you to the Quartering. Thank you, dude. Oh, yeah, man. What's up, guys? Welcome. Oh,
all right, let me put on. Put on something else. We're driving here.
I can't read the chat. Raid. Oh yeah. What's up, everybody? Hello.
Wilco.
Your happy place, your home. Certipro Painters. That's painting happy. We proudly use Sherwin-Williams paint. Feels like home.
Like a lot of people, I'm home most of the day, stuck in back-to-back meetings, answering emails, just kind of living in my chair, really. So having one that actually feels good, huge. That's why I love my X-Chair. The dynamic lumbar support adjusts automatically, like it knows my back needs. And the infinite recline, it just moves with me when I lean back. Seriously smooth. My X-Chair is the best work-from-home upgrade I've made, hands down. Ready to upgrade your home office too? For a limited time, get 10% off with code XM10. That's XM10 for 10% off.
Glass, yes. Wait, not
The Second Amendment.
Yes, buddy.
We are Sirius XM Patriot, Channel 125. Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. After the Israeli attack on the Iranian nuclear sites, what happens next? Military affairs analyst, retired Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis.
I think it's still open as to whether or not this is going to lead to a broader regional war. We've heard from Russia and China already, and Understandably, because of the strategic relationship with Tehran, they're not going to, praise what's happened, but they've been somewhat restrained.
One official said Israel is prepared for an operation that could last up to 2 weeks, but that there was no firm timeline. It would depend largely on how Iran responds. Also at townhall.com, Major General Scott Sherman, commander of Task Force 51, who is overseeing 4,700 troops, said that Marines have finished training on civil disturbance. During a news conference, he said about 200 Marines have moved into Los Angeles to protect federal property and personnel.
They will take over full operations today at noon at that location.
Major General Scott Sherman. The black box has been recovered after that horrific Indian plane crash on Thursday. Over 240 people died. Final preparations.
Did that one survivor, was he a real survivor or was that like fake?
Washington, D.C.
Security fencing and barricades are in place throughout the nation's capital, and the Army has been laying down metal plates to prevent damage to D.C. streets when super heavy tanks roll through the city. President Trump ordered the parade to celebrate the Army's 250th birthday. Military displays on this scale are not common in the U.S. Critics say it's an authoritarian display of power, but supporters view it as a once-in-a-lifetime chance to celebrate the Army's achievements over 2 centuries. Ray Clugston, the White House.
And on Wall Street, all 3 major indexes are lower.
That's just sprinkling now.
Situation. More at townhall.com. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher, host of the Mike Gallagher Show here. And when it comes to mortgages, I only trust the team that's helped me and my family more than once. Mike and Brian at Fellowship Home Loans. These guys are friends, believers. They build a company on biblical values that actually puts you first. In today's economy, with everything costing more, you need a lender who can help you make smart, strategic moves when it comes to real estate. Need cash for home improvements? Thinking about a HELOC or a refi to consolidate debt? Well,
Well, you could go as like a shadow.
Why? Because they're
And just not get into some of the spaces that we get to, just like an outside protecting recorder. They can't really fuck with you then. Believe me, we know when we're pissing the cops off.
FellowshipHomeLoans.com/Mike G or call 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by
I'd love to scoop you up with you, me and Mitty. We'd both be packing too, so our burnout anyway.
Effort by Congress to regulate college sports is generating partisan outrage.
Democrats say Republican-led draft legislation to regulate college sports would claw back freedoms won by athletes through years of litigation against the NCAA.
There's some dispute as to whether or not he was really on the plane, though. Because they're not reporting it anymore when they talk about the plane.
Athletes and protect the NCAA against future lawsuits. NCAA President Charlie Baker has said
India used to be a British colony. There's lots of Brits there.
There was little indication
kind of a perimeter watcher.
The House would generate enough Democratic support to surpass the
or even guard the car.
in the Senate. I'm guessing cool Bob.
Taylor Swift.
Record. Just do like Chuck Bronson and do most of the recording from inside the vehicle.
The Stanley Cup final between the Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers.
They tied it up last night.
Edmonton beat Florida 5-4.
In overtime.
Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com.
Fusion of rational thought and political analysis. This is what your brain has been waiting for. News, politics, and issues. Enhance. You have just joined the Little Cow Majority.
Your generation of great talk radio. The founder of the news. That's me. Your local Sirius XM Patriot phone lines as always.
1-695 Patriot 957-2874. The email, spell the name right, WILKOW at localmajority.com. Individual Patriot first, conservative second, Republican third, and working every single day.
Oh, it's already out. It's the Berna C compact. And it's just as powerful as the law enforcement version. Yeah, it's expensive though. It's like $600.
We don't slow down. We don't back off. We don't take it easy. We go full steam ahead. 3 hours of perfectly executed political analysis. I want you to listen to this very carefully because I'm going to be bringing on the former chief of the Capitol Police, who was the chief on January the 6th, 2021. We're still talking about this. We're talking about it now because when you have Donald Trump federalizing the National Guard in Los Angeles, they say he refused to do so on January the 6th. Play cut 10.
In a bipartisan way, on January 6th, with violence against the Constitution, against the Congress, and against the United States Capitol, we begged the President of the United States to send in the National Guard. He would not do it.
Bullshit.
Not only would
That's
he
a
not
straight up
do
fucking lie.
when
She, unfortunately,
law
because she's
enforcement
speaking as a
people were being
congressperson, she's got
harmed
immunity
and
for it.
later died. He would not send it in when an instigation that he an insurrection that he incited was causing damage to those assigned to protect the Capitol and the Constitution that day, to accept the results.
Maybe CE, I don't know, compact edition.
Electoral College.
But yeah.
That day,
I was looking at it on the site. I was trying to order that hard holster that's been sold out forever. The hard plastic one instead of my soft one.
And yet, in the constitutional way, he has sent the National Guard into California. Something is very wrong with this picture. Inconsistent in his actions, contrary to his own statement that he couldn't, of a year ago, that he couldn't send anyone in without the governor's consent anyplace, and in violation of the Constitution.
The District of Columbia and the Capitol specifically have different rules and regulations. Let me bring in the man himself, Stephen Sun, former chief of the U.S. Capitol Police. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Andrew. Thank you very much for having me back.
Okay, just give me your response to what Nancy Pelosi just said.
Yeah, she doesn't have. She's right. There is something wrong. It's her facts. You're right. And I point out there is a difference between requesting the National Capital versus the District of Columbia. District of Columbia falls under the mayor because it's not a city. The capital, people fail.
Yeah, the way you have it spelled.
There's a federal law. As the chief of police, I have to go to the Capitol Police Board per U.S. Code 2 U.S. 1970 and get permission from the Capitol.
I have the SD.
It includes consultation with congressional leadership. I did that twice on January 3rd, 3 days before January 6th, and was denied both times by the House and Senate Sergeant at Arms. So when she sits there and says, well, Trump would send the National Guard, I know for a fact, I can tell you right now, Carol Corbett, who's the product program manager for what's called DSCA, Defense Support Facility Authorities, had reached out to Capitol Police on January 3rd asking if we needed National Guard support. And I had to say no because by law I was denied the ability to bring them in. Now fast forward to January 6th. For 71 minutes, I was repeatedly again denied by the sergeant because still by law I have to go to them to bring in any federal resources. Starting at 12:58, I started calling, made 11 phone calls, and repeatedly was denied. So when I started to go on TV and C-SPAN and make that comment, that's when I try. I don't post a whole lot to Twitter because I try and stick to, really, I'm a facts type of person. I had to go ahead and respond, and that response is.
I think that's a rifle, isn't it?
About 4.7 million views because people are tired of the false narrative being driven by many of these politicians, and just want to hear the facts. I can't believe, like you said, here we are 4.5 years later, still talking about this topic.
It's funny. I saw that.
No, it's metal and plastic.
I said,
the launcher is.
Sat right in my studio, across from me on that microphone. You can't see me pointing, but I'm pointing at it, and he said exactly what he's saying in that tweet. I'm going to reach out to him and see if I can get him on. You reached out to us before I could reach out to you, so I'm glad to have you on here. I don't understand with what you're saying how this false narrative continues to live if Nancy Pelosi's blatantly lying.
People want to believe what they want to believe, and I think there's politicians out there that believe they say it enough times it's going to be the truth. I come with the facts. My stories have not changed in that 4.5 years, and they now refer to my whole record of it.
I'll have to look it up. I'm driving though. I can't.
On Capitol Hill, it's been endorsed by the person doing the current investigation, Barry Loudermilk, Chairman Barry Loudermilk. These people make some of these falsehoods that they're going to make up their own story, and that's what they're going to live by. I live by the facts. I live by the rules, law, and I'll tell you, if I hadn't started calling all those law enforcement agencies to come to my support, I probably would have still been waiting.
SD.
By the time they finally did approve the National Guard,
Sierra Delta.
It was over with. We already regained control of the Capitol, and we were already coordinating getting the Electoral College vote back in process.
So when you see something like what's going on in Los Angeles, I mean, you have federal law enforcement that does have jurisdiction.
Yeah, I have the SD.
They are enforcing federal law. I spoke, we had
basically
so
standard one.
About this, sheriffs and
they're cheap now.
And
my wife got it for me for Christmas a couple of years back. It was like $480 then. And I got the straight black one.
The arrest or detention or the serving of a warrant.
I've already gone through a whole box of the eco-kinetic projectiles, the ones that dissolve, practicing with it.
And it seems like we had
and a whole can of, or a whole box of those CO2 things. The last one I used was the oiler one. You oil with it.
Well, and I keep saying this, January the 6th lasted about 4 hours, right? About 4 hours? Okay, about 4.5 hours. This has been going on for days because nobody's putting an end to it. So when people, agitators, or people that want to join, see no ramifications for the people that are out there fighting with police, damaging police vehicles, throwing bricks through windows.
Yeah, SD, that's it.
Consequences, and more people come to participate.
It's like $380 now.
Especially when you have politicians that are going out there and supporting saying
and you're allowed to carry them, even if you're not normally allowed to carry a firearm.
The violence that you see is a definite escalation of what we've seen sometimes.
Yeah, the tan one. Yeah. They have the tan. They have the black, the orange one. Then they have the all black. I carry the all black because I want cops to question me about it, and I tell them to piss off. Because Ohio's constitutional carry now. So unless I'm breaking the law, they can't ask me about it, or they can ask me about it, but I don't have to tell them. Yeah, maybe. Maybe one of these vehicles has their lights on too, or something, because I don't. Oh, I don't. Maybe he thought I had my brights on.
It sets a really bad tone, but it also puts brothers and sisters in blue, who I care a lot about, in grave danger.
Yeah, it's a two. Yeah. I think once you're off of any probation or anything like that, you should be able to gain your rights. Obviously, someone incarcerated, no reason that they should be able to have it, but still, any other reason, I think you should be able to get them back without having to jump through hoops for it. One phone disconnected for some odd reason. Again. Illinois, it's not easy either, from what I hear.
I think it's gonna.
Well, at least Chicago area.
That's the thing. I know it's gonna end up being.
You're not really in the Chicago area though. So.
Once you give in to the rioters,
they do restrict in Michigan. They restrict which type of pepper balls you can use. You can't use the combination pepper CS gas. That's actually what I have, but it doesn't say it on the ball, so they wouldn't know. Stream or the thing keeps low signal here. Hopefully we don't disconnect. No, he doesn't get to determine that. He doesn't get to determine that. And believe me, if I come there, I will be packing. I use the kinetic ball. That's what comes out first. The kinetic, then pepper, the kinetic, then pepper. I mean, they're only 5-round magazines. And I carry one extra magazine. one to stop them, one to disable them. And plus, if I'm shooting into something for some reason, the kinetic will break a window out if needed.
Control of your streets, and you're going to have chaos.
So you're right. The big concern here is now you've got these organizers that are looking to do these events all across the country. Heck, just in the county I'm in now in Virginia, there's 6 protests.
Still about 8 miles away from where I'm going. No, actually 21 miles. Jesus.
Agency. So now when you have so many protests, you can't turn to your fellow partners and say, hey, we're going to activate mutual aid, we're going to bring you over.
Hey, Jody.
Well, we've got protests in our jurisdiction, so I can't come to help you. It puts everyone at a severe disadvantage. So I agree with you. There's a strong likelihood of these turning very violent, and I think it just sets a really bad tone. I mean, I've heard from people today from Chicago, Philadelphia, talking to me about some of the concerns from Washington, D.C. I've already talked to people with D.C. police and Capitol Police about the concern for law. It very well could overwhelm the system.
Well, I think that's obviously the intent. Real quick, the difference between January 6th. The notion that this was a pre-planned thing, that Donald Trump was planning to overthrow the government to stay in power. If that was a real insurrection against the government, it was the poorest planned one ever. If you told me that he had been, there was going to be some kind of rogue state actor, meaning a governor and a national, he didn't even have that. He didn't have a militia of people who were, in mass coming to the Capitol, armed, ready to, engage in combat. And here's the other thing. I don't know a single conservative that's tried to justify this. Do I think that the Republic as we know it was threatened? No. It's not like having some guy in a Viking hat grabs Nancy Pelosi's laptop and lectern, and now all of a sudden it's like, King Arthur pulling the sword from the stone. And all, the Joint Chiefs and all the bureaucracy. I guess the guy in the Viking hat's in
charge. Oh no, that was just oil change. I did the brake job yesterday. The brake job was yesterday. That's why I'm driving so smooth. Breaking in her new brakes.
Joe Biden was going to become inaugurated president of the United States, whether we like it or not. We can argue about the changing of elections.
I'm just going to Lowe's. I'm going to copy some keys. I'll end it there. Well, I guess I could sit you guys out here.
This was the end of the nation as we know it.
I'm not just going to end it, and then I'm only like a mile away from the facility.
They say, well, if the federal government wasn't there, serving these warrants, this wouldn't be happening. So you let the rioters make the rules now?
Right. Yeah. You can't let the inmates run the jail. You absolutely can't. You're right. January 6th, 4.5 hours. Law enforcement did exactly what they're supposed to do. They came to my aid. We got control of the Capitol back when I moved back to the session by 7:30 that night. When you're seeing day after day after day, this is a well coordinated effort. Now you're seeing it across the country. That really it creates a dangerous situation for law enforcement. And look at the response. You're seeing law enforcement go out there and you're not seeing a blanket on everyone's phone data and locking up everyone that's down in this protest. They're doing very strategic arrests, very strategic warrants to go out and get the people that are, like you said, throwing rocks, assaulting the police officers. It's a little bit different response than we saw on January 6th. So I applaud them for what they're doing. They're trying to take down strategic arrests on some of the people that are trying to coordinate some of this. But you're seeing, again, there's a lot of coordination behind this. When you're seeing shields being dropped off, helmets being dropped off, that just shows a higher level of coordination they're quite concerned with.
Right, yeah. January 6th happened. It was not great, but it was not what the Democrats say. And one thing, as a younger officer, did you ever work riots, like stand there with the shield and the mask and all that stuff, and then throw stuff at you?
We had Washington, D.C., and then we had the I-4 bank riots in the late 99s, early 2000s, WTO in Seattle. Yep.
Look, we have a large law enforcement audience. What's that like?
And I'm headed for Defiance. That was the brake job was right there in the town I live in. Oil change, unfortunately. And as much as they charged me for that fucking oil or brake job, I wasn't going to let them do the oil too. So, like I said, I like local businesses, but they rate me. I took it up to Tushy. All right, you're not gonna fucking enter at the fucking freeway speed? Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't think anybody says, I want to be the police academy because I want to stand outside for 5-6 hours at a time and babysit, or provide animal control. That's not what. Nobody goes to the academy because they want to recruit minds. Yeah, no, they go to the academy because they want to serve their community. And now you get these people out there that are being reasonable modelers look like bad people. That's not the case. No, they're out there. They want to take care of the community. They want to take care of their businesses, and they're trying to do the best they can for people in really bad situations. All right, I got to leave to take a break. Thanks for clarifying yet again that Nancy Pelosi's not telling the truth on this. I realize that narrative is going to live forever. But thank you once again for squashing it. Former Chief of U.S. Capitol Police Stephen Son, thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend. My pleasure. All right, 1-695 Patriot 957-2874. We are right. They are wrong. That's the end of the story. The arguments on this radio program cannot be broken. Sirius XM Patriot. The NBA Finals are on Sirius XM. Find the board locks down an 8-foot jumper. SGA is coming to play tonight, baby. It's MVP, Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder. This guy is the best player in the league right now. And Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers. It's Game 4 tonight at 8:30 Eastern on NBA Radio, Channel 86. Hear the Pacers and Thunder announcers on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app. Big news. Newsmax just went public on the New York Stock Exchange. And millions like you are joining our news revolution. Newsmax is now the 4th highest rated news channel, just behind CNN. Reuters says we're one of the top news brands in America. 40 million Americans go to Newsmax for shows with Rob Schmidt, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Finnerty, and more. So download our free Newsmax app on your smartphone or TV and start watching. President Trump says Newsmax is truly terrific. Get the free Newsmax app and check out Newsmax shares on the stock exchange. Go to NewsmaxInvest.com. That's NewsmaxInvest.com. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor shall there be any sale of securities in any jurisdiction in which such an offer would be unlawful.
At Certified Painters, we know that happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter. We want to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. Certified Painters, that's painting happy. We proudly use Sherwin-Williams paint. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-261-2626. That's 800-261-2626. 800-261-2626. Americans love using their credit cards. The most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate mega stores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate mega stores will make more money, and you'll pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because America
News on XM Radio.
Personal responsibility, school choice, freedom of speech. We believe in our Second Amendment, the right to keep and to bear arms. We believe in freedom of religion.
Conservative principles live here. The Sean Hannity Show, weekdays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern on SiriusXM Patriot Channel 125 and on the SiriusXM app.
Conservatism, if applied, works. The U.S. Open is on SiriusXM. This is really good. It's going right towards the hole. It's in! The shot of the day in the U.S. Open. Hear exclusive coverage from Oakmont Country Club right now.
On the green, on his way to the hole, and he's got it. That may be a U.S. Open winning shot. 4 feet for one of the most incredible up and downs in U.S. Open history.
Hear all the action of the U.S. Open on Channel 92 in the car and the SiriusXM app. All right, are you overwhelmed with credit card debt? If you have $10,000 or more in credit card debt, personal loans, or medical debt, National Debt Relief can help get you back on track and reduce it by up to 30%.
I haven't seen anything in chat lately. You guys still there?
Solutions to help you pay off your debt in less than you owe and faster than you think, potentially saving you thousands along the way. We're not talking about bankruptcy or loans. It's real savings to help real people with overwhelming credit card debt get relief during difficult economic times. You know, they have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and over 70,000 5-star reviews. National Debt Relief has already helped more than 1 million people with their debt since 2009. So call now for a free consultation with the most trusted debt relief company in the United States and see how much you can save. Call 800-277-8585. That's 800-277-8585. 800-277-8585.
Chicago or the Constitution? You decide. The Wilhelm majority.
Well, right now, as we speak, on this Friday the 13th, the Iranians are launching missiles into Israel. The images we're getting on the in-studio monitor here from Fox News looks like Iron Dome is working. There's so far no injuries reported. No injuries, no deaths.
15 keys, huh?
So and Trump wants the Golden Dome for the United States. But it looks like right now we're looking lifetime at rockets coming in, and they're being intercepted by Iron Dome, which is pretty damn awesome. And by the way, Fox is reporting that what the Mossad had done was somehow hack into the communications of high-ranking Iranian military officials and even a nuclear scientist, and sent them messages to gather at some base, some coordinated area. And then when they got there, they hit it with a missile and took them all out. But between that and the beeper bombs, you got to give it to the Israelis. You really, when it's like in martial arts, if you're not big and strong, you have to be fast, right? Smaller, faster guys. Big and strong sometimes doesn't win against smaller and faster, more agile. And when you're a nail, everything feels like a hammer. So the Israelis, because they don't have a large population, and they are surrounded by enemy nations, have to be smarter than their enemies. And it turns out time and time again, they are. I mean, they really are. And I would not be surprised at all if the Israelis influenced that Ukrainian drone smuggling operation that sent drones into Russia. It took them a year to do it. Then they launched a coordinated drone strike on Putin's bombers at airfields. I mean, that is brilliant. Giving it to them, that is brilliant. Those are brilliant tactics. 966-95 Patriot 957-287. Okay, Tony. Yeah, Tony from Maryland. Let's have some fun. Go ahead. What's today?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Okay. That gentleman you just had on the show.
The chief of the Capitol Police on January the 6th.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Is he still in active?
No, he's retired.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Anyway.
So wait. Hold on. He was the Capitol Police Chief on January the 6th and said repeatedly that everything Nancy Pelosi says about the National Guard is a lie.
Okay, so it's kind of funny. I don't recall that testimony on Capitol Hill.
Yes, there was.
I don't recall that. I saw a black gentleman testify.
I don't care. You're talking about Harry Dunn. You're talking about Harry Dunn.
No, I'm not talking about Harry Dunn. I'm talking about no, that was the DC. I guess he was the DC.
Well, the Metro Police Department.
General.
There's the DC. There's the DC Metro Police.
Hang up with this guy, dude.
What day was his testimony, Andrew? What day was that gentleman's testimony?
I don't know.
Look it up.
Okay, I don't know off the top of my head. It's kind of irrelevant. You're talking about two different police agencies, okay?
No. I'm going back to that. It's a specific guy who you were just talking to. And I do not recall his testimony on Capitol Hill. That's all I'm saying.
Just because you don't recall doesn't mean he didn't testify.
Great. So, do you know the date that he testified so I can look it up?
I don't have it off the top of my head. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
You have access. I'm sure you have access to people like
I want to ask you a question.
All right.
I want to ask you a question.
All right.
You talk about how male they lose their penis because they want to be women and all that good stuff, right?
What?
I didn't say lose their penis. I said a person with a penis is not a woman.
Oh.
Are you really? Yeah, sure.
You said a person with a penis is not a woman. So, how is that different than what you're doing with Donald Trump and conservatives? Because you slowly surrendered yours.
What the hell is it? All right. How old are you?
Just like this man that you say has.
So hold on.
No.
Is a trans woman, is a person, a man, a biological man with a penis and testicles? If he says he's a woman, is he a woman?
If he says he's a woman, he's a woman. But I'm trying to ask you.
Oh my God, that's enough. Fucking hang up with this guy.
Any difference from you surrendering yours to Donald Trump?
I'm not surrendering because you're talking like
you've surrendered yours.
No worries, Eggsy. I'm gonna say, fucking be done with this dude.
Biology, and you're just saying stupid stuff.
There he is.
A person with a penis is not a woman. Okay, just that simple.
Period.
1-695 Patriot 957-2874. Jerry, California, you're on the Will Count Majority. Hello.
Hey, real guy, it's been a long time since I spoke to you. I'm an old guy from California. Used to be a lifeguard. Anyway.
Yes, sir.
We talked about super beats. Anyway, I left Los Angeles a long time, almost 50 years ago, because, I don't know, back in the day, it used to be a good day. It used to be run sensibly. But I've come to realize when I look at the Democrats, and I look at Karen Bass,
no worries, Eggsy. I'm about to be done anyway. I'm only 4 minutes away from Lowe's. I'm going to kill the stream then. We had a good hour and a half stream, so.
Yeah.
They have consistently failed out from Baltimore, New Orleans, Chicago, San Francisco, LA, Philadelphia. What other major cities have they screwed up already? Oh, you know.
All I ask is show me a large area metroplex controlled by Republicans that has the same problems as a large area metroplex controlled by Democrats.
None of them are controlled by Republicans.
But what happened because the governor put an end to that crud.
Because, like, you know, when Gavin Newsom runs around saying stupid stuff like, Texas has a higher murder rate than California. Well, are you talking about, like, just the city of Dallas, which is run by Democrats? What part of Texas run by Republicans has the crime problems of a place run by Democrats?
Oh, no. He says illegal cause less crime than American citizens, but they don't include the murders from all the gang shootings in Chicago.
And they don't even report them all now.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, population-wise, how many illegals are here? 50 million? How many Americans? About 350. Percentage-wise,
Again, I can't find anywhere in the country that has Republicans in charge where you have the same failures on crime or gang activity or whatever it is. I'm not saying putting Republicans in charge makes things perfect. Far from it. Okay, there's always going to be some level of crime. There's always going to be some level of poverty. There's always going to be some level of homelessness. And even in your fantasy utopian world, there's no such thing as a society absent of poverty or problems. But I don't see areas controlled by Republicans having the same problems.
Well, you're going to find them everywhere. Even that last caller you had, I was so convinced of what I was, I had to go buy tampons.
Yeah. Well, look, if that's the fight these people want to have going into the 26 midterms, let them. I mean, absolutely let them. Kendall, South Dakota, you're on the Will Count Majority. Hello.
Yeah, with that thing with Padilla yesterday, a small part of me kind of wishes the Secret Service just would have let him go. I've met my former governor. I think she could have kicked his butt.
Well, here's the thing. It's not a question, was he going to pull out a gun and assassinate her? Highly unlikely.
No, right across
but
the nose.
It doesn't matter. If you have a protective detail, okay, I'm not trying to insult when I say guard dogs, they're not going to let people past a certain point. If you come charging into the room yelling and screaming, the protective detail is going to protect the protectee. That's what they do. Whether it's FBI, U.S. Marshals, Guard, Supreme Court justices, if a Supreme Court justice is, at some kind of symposium and on a stage and answering questions, and somebody comes running at the stage, they're going to stop that person. Now, they didn't beat the hell out of Senator Padilla. And again, they're not even sure that anyone knew he was there.
No, absolutely. But I mean, they got to stop him. I understand that. But it would have been mildly humorous. As far as those Stop the King protests,
no kings.
They're having a bunch of them in South Dakota tomorrow, and I expect the one at Sioux Falls to be particularly ugly. Because of our former governor.
Well, the difference between where you are and where I am is they're probably busing people into those places. All right, 166.95 Patriot.
All right, guys.
2874. Let's see.
Let's turn this around
Texas.
real quick.
You're on the Will Count Majority. Hello.
Hey, Andrew. Thanks for taking my call.
All right, y'all. I'll see you later.
I'm here in San Antonio.
Actually, I want to see something real quick.
I heard about this, the No Kings protest yesterday, or actually Wednesday night.
Just want to see the difference, what it looks like on YouTube versus
the Alamo, and it was called Take Back the Alamo. So me and a couple friends decided to go down there, and there were, 6 or half dozen people in Trump gear with flags and hats, outnumbered, by about 300 protesters. And so it's kind of surreal. The Alamo, and it was called Take Back the Alamo. So me and a couple friends decided to go down there, and there were,
it didn't go vertical. It's weird. That's cool. So even if I go vertical on my phone, it if I do it through Rumble Studio, it still is still splices it. Although I'm not going to get as wide of an angle. Interesting. All right, guys. I'm gonna kill the stream. Love ya. Thanks for hanging out. Like her little stuff she's got hanging from here. Give a cop a reason. Shit, I got a camera hanging from mine. So, all right. Love you guys. Later.